All right, so we got Patrick Morades here in studio now. We're going to switch gears. We're talking about professional employer organizations, and one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how do you determine which PEO is right for a company?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. PEOs in general, just to kind of give a brief synopsis, I mean, they leverage economies of scale, right? So you're bundling your payroll, your HR, your workers' comp, sometimes the benefits in your 401k. So you're aggregating all of these services to one particular vendor to help manage that for your business. So determining the right PEO, there's 943
Wow.
PEOs in the country.
943.
We work with approximately 100 of them, and there's a lot of different factors that play into us determining which vendor or which PEO to recommend to a particular business. Everything from location, so that's extremely important. If the business is domiciled in Florida and they want to work with a Florida-based PEO, the type of service that someone likes. So some people they need to talk to someone right now. So maybe a pooled customer service environment is better, but other people want to have a relationship. They call up Platinum MVP. They want to talk to Brandon, right? They want to work with you. So there are different service models where there's a single point of contact. So those are some of the different things that we assess in addition to cost, into determining and narrowing our platform of 100 PEOs down to the best in class, 2, 3 to recommend or to a particular business owner client.
All right, so we talk about a lot. We want to prognosticate here a little bit and pull out the crystal ball. But if the economy takes a little bit of a step back, a small correction, hopefully not a full recession, but what do you think will happen to the PEOs and their customers? So
I think in a correction, there's going to be significant opportunity for our industry. We'll see significant growth. The buzzword in any business is cash flow, right? So managing your cash flow is going to be extremely important in a market correction. Well, leveraging a PEO, you can stabilize your cash flow. And the reason being is it becomes totally predictable. So you get out of the business of making deposits on insurance premiums, because everything is on a pay by pay basis, a pay cycle, or our industry, we call it pay as you go basis. So everything becomes predictable. So as you grow and add employees, you know how much your cost is going to be, and if you remove employees, you know what your saving is going to be. So in a economic downturn, we actually see a lot of companies look to consolidate vendor relationships, because, as I stated a little bit earlier, when you're talking about payroll vendor, maybe a workers' comp carrier, health insurance carrier, 401k person, outsourced HR, you're managing 5, 6 relationships. Now you can consolidate all that into one and focus in on growing your business,
right,
or sustaining your business and waiting for the economy to come back or make a shift.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We're talking with Patrick Morades here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And yeah, it's all about that long-term planning and being ahead of the curve, kind of ahead of the shift. And specifically to PEOs, it allows you as the business owner, or maybe you're a manager within a business, it allows you to focus on your core competencies, what you're best at,
right,
and then kind of outsource the rest.
Exactly. I mean, people don't go into business to, manage payroll. And oddly enough, when we got into this industry, it was kind of by accident, and it was with my business partner as we were brainstorming what we're going to do. We had these big aspirations of building a company, and we're like, well, what are we going to do for payroll? How are we going to handle that? And then we ended up falling into this industry. We're like, wow, there's a need there.
Yeah.
Because how do people manage that, and how do they service that?
Right.
And that's how we kind of fell into it.
Yeah, it's important. And you look at the economies of scale that's produced, the business environment, the changing rules. And I mean, we just had one of our attorneys on. That's why I love the show as well. When we bring on our attorneys, Richard Alexander, he brought in lots of different rule changes and laws that have either sunset, went away, or just changed.
Right.
I mean, I was just blown away by wow, he just went one after the other of all these laws that have changed. as a business owner, when are you going to research all
Right.
that?
And a PEO shares that risk and liability with you as a business owner, which is, in a recession or an economic downturn, there are going to be companies that thrive or businesses that thrive, grow, and expand while others recess, like we saw it last year, or not, excuse me, last year, but last recession with construction. So, we can't predict what's going to be the cause of the next bubble, but there are going to be industries that grow. And if they do grow and expand into other states or other markets, PEO can help with that. Why deal with getting licensed in another state?
That's right. Yeah. Great example is where, you're on the mortgage broker side, you're a real estate agent, you're a title company, an appraiser, you're kicking butt. And then all of a sudden the market turns. Now where does it go? It goes to REO. So this is real estate owned on the books of the bank. So what did we do? What a lot of my friends did? We jumped on the property preservation side. We would maintain those properties, those bank owned properties, or even as an REO broker, you sign up with those banks. You do the BPOs, you do the cleanup work. So you look at, one of the books I remember is Who Moved My Cheese? Where did the money go? Right. So stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors. How's your Alexa skill going?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, so we appreciate you bringing that back up. We talked about that at the last show. So getting good statistics. What we did to push it out is we've been sending out the Alexas as a gift and getting people to use them with a letter telling them how to download the HR Shield Alexa skill, and that way you can ask it any HR related question and it learns as it goes. So any question that's not programmed, we get notified. So we just did an update yesterday, and so all the errors that came across for questions that were not in the skill are now there.
Yeah,
so it's pretty exciting, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. So the idea, your hope is that while you're mailing these out, it's going to somehow catch. What's the word? Not
just
SEO,
market share.
Kind of like
Well, yeah. So we're trying to gain market share because, and so it's on Alexa right now, and then next week we'll be on Google Assistant. So we're just kind of tackling them one at a time.
Google Home, is it the same thing?
Yeah,
Google
same thing. So you'll be able to. There's 90 million people that have one or both devices currently in their home.
Yeah.
At some point, it's going to mature to where you have it in your place of business, to where we use it more than just playing music.
I like that.
You will start leveraging it for more business applications.
Yeah, the Alexas, the Google, the Amazons, the Roku, those places, of course Netflix, but those are very, there's so many users already on those platforms. That's one thing we're doing with the Quarterback Show. I'm in the final negotiations right now to take our stream, the WeBeam TV stream here, onto those platforms. The Amazon, the Google, it
gets it more accessible to more people.
That's right.
People are comfortable with certain platforms.
Right.
So get them on it.
That's right. All right, good stuff. Thanks so much for everyone coming in. Michael Morabito, Patrick Morades, William Crowley, the credit magician, coming into the show.
Credit man in the hood.
Credit man. He's the credit magician in the studio, but
credit man in the hood, baby.
He's a credit man in the hood. That's right. So he's going to help you out, help you improve your credit, help you live a better life.
I'm coming up with a nickname.
Yeah, we got a nickname.
I'm
we need
coming
one.
up with a nickname.
We got to have one. All right, we'll do that. So, all right, thanks so much for listening to the show. Please check out our website. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show pages on Facebook. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need, be a force for good in the community, and do something kind for one another. And continue to tune into our show right here, 5 o'clock drive time, 1380 The Biz, weekends on FM 102.5 The Bone, and daily 10 a.m. on WeBeam TV. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.